it. We're live.
And welcome to Phoenix Tremaine's Forbidden Conversations, where no conversation is too forbidden. And we are live today. I am Esty Nelson.
Rhea,
Jasmine.
and Catrice.
So, guys, what's everybody's weekend been like?
Well,
well,
My boy turned 21. We went to Vegas.
oh,
nice. I love going to Vegas.
I haven't been.
I saw the
Vegas.
pictures.
I was trying to poison him. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, what? I'm trying to teach him responsibility. If he drinks too much, he'll know. Oh,
His limit.
see, he won't be out with all, his boys and stuff like, oh, yeah, that's nothing. Yeah, no, we got this. No, he's gonna be like, you know what, I'm good.
Hi, Bobby Ruffin. How you doing?
Oh, there, okay.
Oh,
Now, what happens in Vegas does stay in Vegas.
Unless YouTube is involved.
Right.
Someone sent him that message. What happens in Vegas, don't stay there, but it stays on YouTube.
Yeah. True.
Truth, right?
All right, you're getting lots more messages coming in.
Let me just say, hey, Toy. Love you.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
So, let's see, the weekend was interesting that I did. Nothing. Work. So, that's all.
my life is minimal.
Hey, Gail.
I have a few weeks until I give birth. Until then, I'm just.
Oh, congratulations.
Hit mute. Hit mute on yours, so it's not feedback.
I guess so.
So,
And you?
My week has been pretty empty. I've not done much. That's it.
that's it.
That's my.
Hey, Travis.
Hi, Travis.
Okay.
So, we could talk about some trending stories here. What's an interesting story that we can talk about? The coronavirus.
The coronavirus.
I wore a mask on the plane. I wore two of them.
A mask on the plane?
And
reminds me.
gloves.
Has anybody seen Naomi Campbell's plane,
Oh, when she
her
writes
plane
everything.
routine?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So she
It makes
gets
sense
on a
now.
plane, she takes her Lysol wipes or her Clorox wipes, and she wipes down everything that she might touch or that somebody else might have
I
touched
do
in
that.
her seat.
Mhm.
And then she sits down and she puts like a blanket or something over the seat so that she's not sitting directly on the seat. And it made me want to also do the same.
You know what? I'm so
Yes.
glad to hear that because now I don't feel like a freak. Because I'm the only one that got there before anyone, sat down. I was like, oh, no. I had all my wipes out. I had my spray, the mask. I had it all. It was like, we're not doing this.
Right, right.
Because they don't, it's not their fault, but they don't get time in between the flights to really thoroughly clean it.
Right,
Exactly.
And especially if you can go on and for pre-boarding, you can get all of that stuff done, wipe down everything.
I do that at
everything.
hotels too, though.
Yes,
Um,
because some of your hotel rooms.
Yeah, I keep disinfectant wipes and I clean it up like it's my bathroom.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't use the bathroom yet. Hold on.
Has anybody ever found anything in a hotel room
Yes.
disgusting?
Yes. So
Oh, yes.
one time I was in a hotel in Philly. I was being cheap, so I went to stay at like a Red Roof Inn or something like that. And when I went into the room, when I went into the bathroom, up under the sink was like a pile of dirty towels.
Oh.
And one of the rags was bloody.
Oh my God.
I don't like.
And it was like dry, crusty, bloody, like not a wet rag. So I knew it had been there a minute.
Yeah.
And when I went to the front desk, they were really acting like they didn't want to change my room. Like I had to really act a fool in there for them to like
to do something.
switch my room and make sure that room was also clean.
Yeah.
I worked at a hotel for roughly 2 months. This past 12 cycle month. And learned a lot. Those are nasty.
What is the most disgusting thing you found working in a hotel?
You would have mold, like customers come down, they had mold in their room, ants, roaches. If the housekeeping didn't properly clean,
Mhm.
you will find used condoms. You will
Oh,
find,
wow.
you know, it was crazy. Like I think I know the whole 4th floor. Like I would never put anyone on the 4th floor because every time I put somebody on the 4th floor, they'll come back down. And like I don't want to stay in that room. This room has this room has that. However, and I mean, I tried talking to management like, hey, like we got to do something here. His goal or what he told to me was he was like, listen, my hotel is making money, so forget what you feel, forget what you gotta say. I was like, say no more, say no more. So, that was
Yeah.
a learning experience. Like the kitchen, the lady in the kitchen, like they was like smoke, and you know they go outside, smoke, come back in, and then just start fixing breakfast.
Oh my
and
God.
Do you
it was
wash
horrible.
your hands? Oh,
I can't say if they did or they didn't wash their
Okay.
hands, but don't fix my food and you smell like smoke,
Right,
you know,
yeah.
because you letting me know what you just did,
Mhm.
you know, regardless if your hands are clean or not.
right.
And then they just looked all sweaty and not appealing.
Mhm.
I don't know if you ever seen like Matilda and the kitchen lady.
Oh,
She
God.
just
Yes,
looked all,
yes,
she looked
yes.
like one of them, you know, just all.
Mhm.
I was like, yeah, I'll bring my own breakfast here, don't worry. But it was hotels. That's a life.
That and food service industry.
Yes,
Mhm.
yeah. I was
Just
watching
nasty.
a story where they were saying even some of the hotels at the Super Bowl, where they was finding like disgusting things, and they did a story on it in the hotels.
I believe it.
Yeah,
I
and
believe
some
it.
of these high-end 5-star hotels finding disgusting things.
Yeah,
Can you
it's, I mean, it's.
Yeah.
I
And,
just
when you,
think
and you
about
have to think about like if you ever go overseas, how different the
Right.
regulations may be, because there was this whole undercover thing going on like in a Chinese hotel where they were using like the same rag and toilet brush to clean the toilet as they were cleaning the glasses in the room.
Ooh, ooh.
It was really disgusting.
Oh,
It
wow.
was really,
Oh.
and they got them on video.
Oh wow! It just make you think about what they're doing in the kitchen, in the hotel,
Right,
in the
right.
restaurant.
And that's something nobody wants to know.
Right.
Yeah.
It is
Put
just one of
that
those
out
things.
there.
Like if I
Yeah.
don't know, it can't hurt me. Because
Yeah.
the moment I find out, or I remember I went to Burger King one day, and or maybe I don't know if I can say the name, I don't know, but the guy getting my food, instead of holding the fry cup at the bottom, like he kind of put it on top, so now it was like his whole hand was all on my fries, and it looked like he had warps and stuff.
Oh my God!
Oh,
Oh my
So
God!
I'm sitting in the drive-thru and I was just like, I don't want that. So he was like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't, just give my
Right.
money back. I don't even want anything. Like, because I've seen it.
Right.
If I didn't see it, I wouldn't have known
Yeah.
and I'd have been
Yeah.
okay. But because
Yeah.
I saw it, I don't want it.
And that's a whole nother question about food. And when you get like DoorDash and food deliveries
Grubhub,
and
mhm.
Grubhub,
My friend
What are they
refuses to
thinking?
do it. She refuses to use
Oh,
that because she
yeah.
thinks that.
like what are they doing
Yeah.
to your food
While
while
they're carrying it.
they're carrying it, or while they're in the car?
I saw a photograph of a person that was in the bathroom, and they took a picture of a Uber Eats driver with their bag sitting on the floor of the bathroom.
No.
And they said, "I'll never eat this again."
Oh my gosh, that's
That,
terrible.
At my one job, I saw one of the, she was the server, and she went in to use the bathroom, and she just came out and like fixed her hair, and I was like, yeah, nah, I went and got the manager. I was like, nasty McNasty over here. Go get her because that's nasty.
Yeah.
Like, really?
Yeah.
I've seen a lot like that.
I think it's ironic because, I mean, as America, we live off of fast food, but we know the possibilities of eating out, but we eat out all the time. Like, you know, it's like ironic. Like, don't
But
touch my food,
But I
but
think it's like
let
you
me come
said,
out.
if you don't see it, you're not
You're
thinking
not
about
thinking
it. But as
about
soon as you
but
see
soon as
it,
you
it's
see
something
it,
different.
yeah, it's-
But I mean, even still, just the point of knowing, like you would think it would be more, let's grow our own, or let me, you know.
Right. It makes you want to fix your own food, cook your own
Right.
food.
We have a
You think it
question.
may want you.
I'm sorry. So Jenny wants to know. Do you see this one?
Oh, yeah. If anyone's watching, if you have any open questions you want us
So we
to
just-
talk about,
We're
chat
getting
about,
conversation.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a whole
anything.
panel.
Hey Jenny, we see
Yes.
you.
Hi, Jenny.
We are from Phoenix Germain's Forbidden Conversations. This is just the
Mhm.
live edition.
Yes. No conversation is too forbidden.
No conversation.
So Travis said there were reports that Uber Eats were eating customers' food on the way, like I guess
Yes.
on the delivery.
Yes.
Yes.
I believe
Yes.
it.
Can you
I believe it.
imagine that? Somebody's
Or even
Eating your
they
food.
get
Yeah.
there and they claim they tried to deliver the food and they just sit there and eat your food.
Mhm.
You know what? While we're on this I think is a really good topic if you guys are alright with it.
Mhm.
The time Lizzo called for Postmates
Yeah.
and they came to her hotel, they were waiting,
And tried to call her.
tried to call her. She's blowing them up. This woman got fired because no one in her
And she
crew.
told her real name and everything online
Right.
and got her blasted.
Yes. And her or none of her management, none of her people
Tried to see.
tried to go down, see what's going on, whatever. And then this poor woman,
Mhm.
obviously, because Lizzo's a big name, everyone
Right,
loves her,
right.
they're gonna jump to her
Being
defense. But
harassed.
they didn't get the full story. That came out 2 days later, and then it's like, my bad.
Right.
Like, nah, you already
You know,
under
what happens
fire.
with Lizzo ordered Postmates and
The lady
It didn't
was
come?
sitting in the lobby for 45 minutes with her food.
oh okay.
And in the meantime, Lizzo had gone on social media, and we know that any celebrity that does that goes like right to their social media,
Right.
you know, it's happening in live time.
Sure.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And this poor woman's like, she was waiting for someone to come and get
Get the
this
food.
food.
Mhm.
Right.
You
And
know,
go
that's,
again.
I mean, Lizzo, if anything, should have got on her people.
And
Like,
she
why didn't
went-
someone go down
Right,
She
right.
there?
showed, like, you know how the apps show the person's name and, and whatever. She put that out there. And
She sure
then
did.
her followers, of course, millions of people or whatever,
I started taking this lady.
started, you know, attacking that woman.
Mhm.
And you have to think about, I think as a celebrity, you really have to think about how your actions
Right.
are going to impact
Right.
So
And
true.
influence so
Yes.
many
other
people.
people
Mhm.
because, you know, you have people that just blindly
Yeah.
jump on board with
Oh,
their
yeah.
favorite
Oh,
celebrity.
absolutely.
I felt like that was an entitlement moment.
It was.
This is who I am. Where
And I hope
where's
it's a
my
learning
right?
moment for her as well.
Oh, I hope.
Especially after she figured out, yeah, I called you and you didn't answer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's your
Right.
fault.
Oh, and
Yeah.
you just
I
Put
don't
her
think-
phone number
I
down.
don't think that she ever came back and apologized
She
for
never
it or
did.
anything.
No, and it was terrible because
Yeah.
this woman's life's in peril. People know who she is, where
Right.
she's from,
Right.
Right.
and she has all these hysterical fans
Mhm.
coming at her,
Mhm.
and she didn't do anything wrong. And even if she had, it wouldn't warrant
Right.
all those people coming
Yeah,
for her.
yeah.
That's not.
I just
right.
think
not-
it,
Or her
it's
being
not.
fired.
Yes.
It's not
Right.
funny, but it's like, what do they say? Like, you didn't bring Lizzo her food. Like,
Right, I know.
Give her her food.
Yeah.
Give her her
Yeah.
food. Like,
Mhm.
Right.
what do you say?
Yeah.
How do you badge I mean, it's Lizzo. Like,
Is that
Right.
right? Like, come on.
like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness. Okay.
Speaking of Lizzo, I want to get on the Super Bowl subject with Jennifer Lopez and
Oh, yeah.
Shakira. I read a report where a church group was actually counting counting how many gropes, how many crotch grabs, and how many thrusts. And these people have nothing else to do other than count. I mean, you literally have to watch this thing over and over again to actually count
Yeah.
how many thrusts and crotch grabs and all of that.
At the end of the day, I think it's always going to be a group of people that's going to complain about something. Like,
What did they do with the information?
what does
They just
like,
complain.
right? You
Yeah.
just have
You know, they just said nothing
no
else to
one
do.
is ever
Yeah.
satisfied. You know, it's
Mhm.
oh well, you know, you had Shakira singing a Cardi B song and Cardi
Mhm.
didn't even come out or I
And
mean
Cardi was happy.
Yeah.
Did you see afterwards?
yeah, Cardi was there at
Right.
the Super Bowl.
She was like, I can't believe she
Cardi
said,
was
like,
there at the
I
Super
watched
Bowl.
her, you know, like
Mhm.
growing up, whatever.
Yeah, I mean it's and they always I didn't know Shakira was 43. I mean I
Oh,
know
yeah.
J Lo was 50, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
And then they
thinking
talked
she-
about her, J Lo's the pole being on a pole, and that was an issue. And
yeah, it's
so,
always
you know.
it's always going to be a group of someone complaining
Ooh,
about
that's
something.
The
something.
pole supposedly was supposed to be symbolic for women being on top. That's what I heard. Like someone
Mhm.
put it next to a picture. You know the King Kong, that old
Yeah.
on the Empire State
Mhm.
Buildings,
Mhm.
that are hanging off there.
Mhm.
The pole almost looked identical to that, and they said it was all about women I know, you're getting messed up.
I thought it was about her latest movie. She was a stripper.
Oh, the
That's
hustler.
what
He
I
said-
thought too.
That's
I thought it was.
That was my
I
first
thought
thought.
maybe
That's
because
what
I
I
heard
thought
the
too.
movie didn't do
It's
so
in it.
well,
It's in
and
it.
I figured she learned a couple of stripper pole moves, so she wanted to.
Go
Show the
ahead and
world.
work with that.
You know,
Yeah.
like, look
And you
at what I
guys can
learned.
feel free to chime in on any of these subjects. We
Mhm.
welcome your questions and comments.
Well, can I be controversial?
Yes. Go ahead. You know we like controversy here.
Okay. I do not have a problem with Shakira or J-Lo. I've never been a big fan of J-Lo's music, but I don't have anything against her. Go, girl, get your hustle going, get it going. Here's where my problem is. There are a lot of artists that turned down the Super Bowl. Cardi B, Rihanna, Pink, because they all talked to Cap first. And here's what I feel like the NFL did. They went for two minorities to yank the minorities back. And I feel like Shakira and J-Lo, it was irresponsible because they became someone's puppet. Oh, they weren't there because of their talent. No. They were there because they're minorities. And the NFL's still trying to come back from that Kaepernick thing. And I have to say, I just want to say this for anyone that knows anything about the American flag. If we're going to talk about Cap kneeling, the biggest thing that happens every Sunday at every football game across the country is they all bring out a flag. The flag hits the ground, and the first rule of the flag is if a flag hits the ground, you must burn it immediately. Now, to me, and having people from my family being in the service, I take the flag very seriously. That, to me, is a bigger controversy than someone taking a knee and you not even taking the time to find out why they're on their knee. So I feel like they're trying to keep, that's why they went to Cardi, they went to Rihanna, then they went to Pink, I guess thinking, oh, we'll pull her in.
Right.
And they're all like, yeah, nah, we're with Cap. So I feel like they pulled them in, and those two were like, oh, yeah, without really doing their homework or, even talking to Cap and being like, how do you feel?
Now I'm gonna say this. Maybe so much for J-Lo, but Shakira is not an American citizen.
Right.
You're right.
I don't
you're
think
right,
she would
you're
have
right.
the same values, insight, understanding of what it would be to turn that down as someone who is an American citizen.
You're right.
So I give
You're
her
right.
a little bit of leeway because she's not from here. She doesn't have any reason to be beholden to Cap, to be beholden to anybody
Right.
in this country. She's there
Right.
for her job.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean?
Then what
Right.
And
J-Lo's
she is an international superstar.
She is.
She is, that's a way for her fans to tap into an American market.
That's true.
For her to tap into an American market. So I can see that why she
You're
would
right.
do it.
Yeah.
J-Lo is a bit of an opportunist. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't see, and I think that she is finding ways to stay relevant musically. Not so much, she's always been a relevant actress. She's always been, this relevant celebrity. But I think musically, especially lately, as people talk about, Ashanti being behind her music and all these other
Right,
things,
it's
she's
coming out
trying to
more.
find a way to stay
Stay
relevant and get that credibility. So I don't really see her turning it down either.
Well,
I mean,
right.
Well, I think. Well, I didn't look at it like
I'm
that.
sorry, real quick.
Mhm.
Hey, Ninja, what's up? Hey,
Hey,
Jenny,
Ninja,
we see
Jenny.
you.
Yes,
and yes,
hi.
we talk a lot about everything.
Yes.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
yes.
I
No,
gotta
we was
like
doing
pay
some
attention
shout-outs.
to the
I
vibe
got
too.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
No, it was I thought it was. I didn't think it was much controversial. It was in Miami, and that is, Hispanic, a heavy Hispanic population.
Well, Barney
So,
Do you want to shout her out?
I don't know.
Hi, Roseanne.
Hey, Roseanne. That's what
From,
I'm talking about.
from
we're
Caribbean. Yes.
Barbados.
Yes.
Barbados.
Yes.
So, I don't know. I didn't find it much controversial. I just thought it was just, two people going for the Super Bowl. So we're reading the live. They're reading.
We are reading
Yes,
your
it
comments.
is.
If
Yes,
you have
it
a comment or a question,
Maybe.
please submit.
Mabe. Yes, it
Taylor.
is, Mabe. Shout
Yes.
out to you,
What-
to all moms and dads that stay at home. Yes.
Shouting them out for the hard work.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you for your
Definitely a
hard work.
full-time
Definitely.
job plus some.
Yes.
Yes. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I see what you're saying though about.
Oh, you did?
I heard you. No, I heard. I'm sorry. I was reading this and I
Yes.
heard you, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yes. That felt small.
Mhm.
It was like, oh.
Sorry, sometimes we gotta jump
Right,
in, guys.
yes.
Sorry, and we have to read the live, but I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. That was it.
Oh, you don't know.
That was it. That was it. Anybody else said anything?
Anything else interesting?
It makes sense once we talk about it.
Right,
I hear what
it
you're
does.
saying. You know, I hear you're right. Shakira has her allegiance is to what she does, and she is an artist
In her own country.
and
Yeah.
she's huge. And even like with the gyrating, anyone who knows Shakira knows
Oh,
that she
yeah,
does
that's her
belly,
signature.
she does
That's her
belly
signature,
dancing and
right.
all that stuff. And you're right about J-Lo. I mean, she would probably take anything thrown at her just to prove that she has
Still got
something
it.
going. And look, I don't know if anyone noticed, but you could tell that she was singing over her track. You could tell.
Oh, well,
You
you
know?
know, all of that dancing, you have to. Well,
Yeah.
she'd have been up there like,
Right, like like Ariana Grande at the Grammys. Like at the end,
Yeah.
she was like,
Yeah.
like that girl was choking because
Yeah.
she danced.
it takes a lot to perform and sing
at the same time.
At the same time, yeah.
Yes.
You have to be. I think Janet probably doesn't do that, or maybe she does.
Well, a lot of them do it over a
I know a
track,
lot
or
of
they
them
do a little of both.
But then, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, but like I think you have to be like a real
Seasoned.
right to
Right,
do it.
Yeah.
in order
But,
to
I mean, it
get
makes
control.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for performers. Now, if you have someone who's not a dancer, who just sings, you know, they can get away with something like that.
Right.
But J-Lo is a performer. Janet is a performer. Beyonce is a performer. So I wouldn't expect for them to sing live and dance
Right.
Yeah.
and give it their all without, again, someone saying something about something. Oh, her dance steps were whack, or she could have did this, or whatever the case is. So you try to give the people everything.
Right, and I mean, you gotta give it. I would never take away from her ability to dance. That to me is her main ability. I don't know about her acting. I'm not real
You're talking
sold on
about-
that J-Lo.
Oh, so
I'm
okay.
not sold on her singing because other people's voices have been used, and most of it she's on. You know, she's singing over a track, or someone. You know, she's background singers making her sound good. If you watch clips, so she sang "Let's Get Loud." At one point, I think that's when the mic was on, because she like cracked a little. And that's
Yeah.
when she started having the audience sing. That's like the oldest trick in the book. Make the audience sing it.
Yep, that
'Cause
crowd
you can't sing
participation.
it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Maeve.
Yes.
Angela, Chris Brown, and Usher.
Chris Brown and
What about
Usher.
them?
Doing the same thing,
Um,
singing
You
live.
think they do that? Is that what you're saying,
Question.
Angela?
They probably do. Again, they're performers, they're dancers.
I've never
So it wouldn't be-
seen.
Oh, because Usher did Prince's
Yes, he
thing
did
on the
the
Grammys.
on the
Oh,
Grammys,
yeah.
and
I
I
don't
thought
watch
he
the
did a
Grammys.
good job. I thought he did pretty good on a couple of Prince songs.
I think that celebrities that can actually do both things, that can actually sing and dance, I think that their background tracks are minimal.
Yes.
So you have these kind of pockets of background music that they might be lip syncing when
Right.
the choreography gets heavy, but I think for the most part, they are doing the majority of the heavy lifting. That's why
You're
you
right.
get these
You're
kind of
Yes,
videos
absolutely.
of their voices cracking and stuff like this. However, I think some of the breathier artists who kind of have that kind of whisper voices, I call it, I think that they're not doing as much singing.
Right, right.
No, you're
More
right, yeah.
dancing. So I think it's just a case by case basis. As far as Chris Brown and Usher goes, I've never seen Usher live. I think that Chris Brown sings more than he doesn't sing
Yes.
while he's dancing, and I think that people that make that their craft and they're serious about it practice
They work.
singing and
Well,
dancing
yeah.
at the same time, and I think he's one of those people, just like a Beyonce or someone else.
I don't think it really would have been that big of a deal. I mean, because now that we're talking about it, it just brings me back to Milli Vanilli. When
Oh,
they-
yeah.
That was like the whole, they lip singing the whole song, you know, but again, they were dancers, you know,
Yeah.
so you can't be up there, you know,
They were.
doing this, that, and the fourth.
They were.
I mean, but they move.
Now I will
They
say,
move.
dancing in the 80s and 90s, that's a lot more dancing and singing
Oh, yeah.
than right
I mean,
now.
right.
Yeah.
They
But
are-
it was just
Yeah.
a thing of when you perform, that your audience expects for you to sing live. So I think it was just like a shock when it came out, like, or when you saw that Milli Vanilli were lip syncing, and it was just like,
And now it's so
How dare you?
commonplace.
Right. And then it was
But
like, but
record companies then too had a heavier hand in their artists, where they were kind of these polished artists, where you had
Right.
to give the perception that you could sing, dance, and do all these
Yeah.
things.
Right.
I mean, well, you
Right.
still have it today. That's why you have auto tune. You have
Mhm.
half of these people who don't even really sing. It's always something added into, or even rap. Most rap be, hey, yeah,
Mhm.
good,
You
Well,
know,
the hype man is doing a lot.
That's the whole
hype
rap.
man,
You
yeah,
know, when it's the
yeah.
hype man.
So
Yeah.
right, so it's
Shout out to Public Enemy for starting
You
that.
know.
Right. Mhm.
So shout out to
Play.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy, but I mean, I guess it's just been going. That was just the norm.
Me, missed the Super Bowl. Saw the
Oh.
groundhog. Ninja Puppy said, I heard the groundhog used a body double.
Yes, yes.
I heard they was gonna use a new ground, like a mechanic,
Yes,
a mechanical
because,
groundhog.
because PETA complained,
Oh, Lord. I'm
so
sorry.
now they're gonna use.
Let's
a
talk about
mechanical
PETA.
I don't wanna
Did
talk
y'all
about
see that commercial that they said that the Super Bowl wouldn't play with the animals kneeling?
Yes.
They had like a fish kneeling,
Oh,
a bear
yes,
kneeling,
yes.
a pig
Mhm.
Wait, tell me
kneeling.
about this. I didn't
So
know this.
PETA tweeted out their commercial that they claimed that the Super Bowl wouldn't play about stopping animalism,
Yes.
Wait,
speciesism,
what is
Yeah.
that?
where all the animals, it shows all these different animals in the forest, in the rivers, and they're all taking a knee. And it was like, we stand
Right.
with cat.
Mhm.
All species should be preserved. And it was like, stop speciesism. It was so disrespectful. It was so disrespectful and so ridiculous. Like they had a tarantula kneeling,
Stop.
a fish kneeling.
Who was the
No,
president?
really,
Who's
so-
the president of PETA? Like they,
Yes.
it's just
I
things
know,
like,
like,
you're
get it
taking it too
together.
far.
Mhm.
You're
Get it
taking it
together.
entirely
Right,
too
right.
far. I'm not here for animal cruelty, but come on,
Right.
like get over it. Like
And it's all in the, it's all in the eyes of the beholder. What's
Mhm.
cool and what isn't.
Right.
They made a big deal about J-Lo's feather, her big cape that
Oh.
had the American
the
flag
American
Puerto Rican
and the Puerto
flag,
Rican flag one. Mm-hmm.
because it was all feathers. But listen, how did they know the circumstance? How did they know that they weren't, I don't know, chicken feathers of chickens that were going to go and get turned into the
Mhm.
chicken we eat? You know what I mean? How do they know
Right.
the circumstance?
Right.
You can get feathers off of a bird and not necessarily kill it.
Or they
Yeah.
could be fake feathers.
Yeah,
It
it could
don't
be
have
fake
to be real
feathers.
So-
feathers.
So,
Yeah, yes. Mhm.
It's again, you got people that just want to
Feel free to chime in, everyone, on any subject we're talking about.
Or any subject of
That
your
you
choice.
want.
Of your choice, we can speak out about it.
can I just say about PETA? Because, so Angela said Usher and Chris Brown sing and dance. Janet dances more than she sings. Both Usher and Chris of them were set to take Michael's place. Ooh, I mean, thank you, but I'm gonna be like,
Yeah, wait a minute.
Ooh.
She came for Janet. No,
Like,
Janet.
well, okay, first of all, you can't count for Janet.
But I will say that Janet does.
Janet is a singer first.
I think she is a singer, but I don't think she's a powerhouse. So
Right,
I think that she
right.
does tend to dance.
She's a performer. That's what you call a performer. You know, she gives the people what they want.
Happy New Year.
Yes.
Love
It's
you
after
all.
January 15th. We can sing it.
Love you too.
How do y'all feel
Thank
about
you.
Mariah
Listen,
Carey? Do you
my
think she's
friend
a
is
good-
Welcome, welcome.
Mariah Carey, all she does is sing. She don't
Yeah.
dance.
No,
She's
you
a
know what's
singer.
so funny though? If you
She
look
does very
back,
light choreography.
Back in the day, she would move. Now she's
Now
just
she
like,
just stands
But even
there.
Well, she
even
don't
back
have
in the
to.
day,
She's
it
like
wasn't like
50
real
something.
dance moves. It was
No.
Like,
a lot of
right.
dance.
But you
Yeah.
know what's funny though? But she did move. Now she don't, like, they carry her.
hello,
I think
honey,
that's
smile.
hysterical, right? Like she don't have to
Welcome,
walk.
Yeah, she feel
Like,
like,
all right,
you know,
girl, you just feel like you made it like
Yes.
that, right? I don't even walk on the stage. Carry me.
Yes,
They
yes.
said she was a real
Uh-huh.
diva. They say she's a real diva,
And always
but
has been.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yes.
when you got it, you got it.
I believe she was back in the day when no one knew. When they still had her out as looking proper, little Miss, you
Had
know,
glitter.
girl next door. I think she was being a diva and I wish they didn't know it.
TV says, any
Shows.
shows you all are watching.
Any shows
Any
that you
shows,
are watching? Oh, I'm watching The Outsider on HBO.
Hmm.
Can't get enough of that.
I know, right?
What
I
is
do
yeah.
What are
enjoy
they
the
watching?
Blacklist. I know that's a good. That's
What
a
are
better
y'all
question.
What are
watching?
y'all
What
watching?
you guys are watching?
Mhm.
I mean, This Is Us, A Million Little Things are some of my favorite shows.
I
Hi,
feel like a lot
honey,
of these shows
smile
are becoming
320.
redundant.
Hello.
It's the same plot.
The same, yeah.
You know, it's the new ones. What is it? Something about a unicorn.
A unicorn.
Nobody heard that show.
What?
See, right?
Oh.
Because it's so redundant. It comes on like NBC or ABC, but it's. I just feel like these new shows are just redundant. Like it's the same thing.
We got a good comment, y'all. Okay, so hey TD, it says she earned it. If I were her, I'd have people carry me everywhere too.
Yeah.
Ah, yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Love.
All right, Travis. Yes, outsiders, right? I mean, living for it. Love after lockup. My best friend could not watch enough of that.
What
I
is
like
that?
90 Day Fiance.
She watches that
And
too.
before the 90 days.
Yes, I watched it.
Yes.
90 Day Fiance.
So
Yeah.
what it is people that are dating someone that is out of the country, you get like 90 days in which they can earn their visa or something like that. So it's like a long process. So it's recording that 90 days until they get married or until they get approved for the visa to get married. And then before the 90 days is like them, the person that's in America usually going overseas to visit that person for the first or second, whatever time before the show, 90 Day Fiance.
So TD said to you, yes, 90 Day Fiance.
Oh, okay.
My 600-pound life.
Oh,
yeah.
I watched
Yes,
that. Yes,
those
like,
people
listen.
drive me nuts. Whatever that episode was where the doctor came in and he was like, "You've been eating chips. You're eating something." She was like, "I didn't eat chips," and he like pulls a bag out of her
Yo,
like
stop.
blanket, and
Oh,
he's like,
no.
"The chip is here." And she's like, "No, it wasn't."
I'm like, what is his name? Dr. H. Dr. Like, I like him. He's
I like him. He
He's
is
very
no nonsense.
yes, and he's just like, look, this is your life. If you want to die, die. Like, you know, you don't want to. And I mean, it
Because they're
gives you
doing
no
it for those
choice.
people for free, so you can't keep giving resources to people that aren't taking it seriously when there's so many
And
other
I mean,
people.
well, yeah, but
that
I think
will.
is more so like, you know, you can't. They come to the network looking for help. They come to the show looking for help. And if you're not gonna take it seriously, then it's like, why waste my time? Because
Exactly.
either way, I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter to him because he's getting paid regardless.
Anyway, yeah.
So, you know, for him, it's just like, you know, I'm trying to do something to help you, you
Right,
know, so
right.
that you can be a better you. So, I mean, I like him. I wouldn't want him to be my doctor, but I like
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
So happy New Year. Talk General Hospital. That is Phoenix area. We're going to
Yes,
leave that to him.
yes,
That's okay.
yes.
I am not a soap opera person.
I do
think I
watch
watched-
General
I
Hospital.
haven't watched
That's the
soap
one
I
operas
am.
since
Yes. Yes.
was it Passions?
Passion.
That's the
Passions
last
of the-
soap opera I used to watch.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Way back to
That was
That was
Is that what the little,
What?
Way
the
back.
Timothy?
Okay.
Timothy?
So, Nate, you're only going to have a fiance for 90 days, might reconsider marriage.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, as much as
I think I
love
had a
it,
90-day fiance.
I feel like a lot of people are on it. It's like,
Well,
Come
a
on,
lot
you
of
know
times it's
already.
not just that they've been together the 90 days, it's that visa process takes 90 days for them to get approved for that visa.
and that's depending on the country as well.
Right.
Their
right,
origins
sometimes
are
it's
from
longer or
things.
shorter.
I had no idea, like, that's what I thought the show was about two strangers meeting.
No,
and then
no. It's about people
they
that are
have-
now they do have
Married at first sight?
married at first sight.
Yeah.
Now that's about
That's
strangers
That's too
getting
dangerous.
married.
That's too dangerous.
Yeah, that is.
That's a whole different
yeah.
ballgame. I've never watched that show. I think
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Mhm.
But
The
90
concept
Day
is-
Fiance is about people that are actually dating, that have known each other, that are now going through the process to get their visa. So it's like watching them through that 90 days.
Process.
Yes,
Mm.
right.
Yeah, no, clearly
And,
I've never watched that show.
I think it's interesting because you do learn a lot. It says, yeah, that's the one. That's the one I read. You do learn a lot about the process. It is a way to kind of learn about what's going on. What's up?
Manifest.
I love
heard
Manifest.
that was a good show.
I love Manifest.
Is it?
I was-
What's
it
on?
was- It comes on, I think, ABC? Or maybe, what's Channel 11?
That's NBC. NBC. It's
I
channel.
think it either comes on 2 or 11 on Mondays. And
Okay.
it's basically a flight. They was coming back from Jamaica. And this one flight, 828, it disappeared. Now, if you were on a flight, it felt like a regular flight, and you came home. They come home, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, like you've been gone for 5 years," and they're like, "What?" So now
Oh,
you
for
just
real?
have right, but to them, it was just a regular flight from
wow.
one destination to the next. So it's like something happened while they were in
Like
the air.
time warpish.
Right.
thing, kind
So now I was wondering how they was going to do the second season because that's not much you can drag on, you know.
from
So it was they came back, they reunited with their families, you know. So naturally, you either had people that were afraid of them, and or that worshiped them, like oh my gosh, like you came back from the dead.
Oh, okay.
And now this season. I don't know. It's kind of all over the place, but it's still a good show. It still,
Okay.
you know,
Is this the
captures.
first season or
This is the second season.
second
now.
season? Okay.
Yeah, the second
Is
season.
anybody watching Messiah on Netflix?
I started
I
to
saw
watch that because
one
I'm like,
episode of that.
Yes.
That's
Netflix
pretty
is
good.
good.
So,
That's good.
for those that don't know, Messiah is about like if you can imagine if Jesus came in modern times and how different governments, people, church groups would respond to that figure and whether he would be welcomed with open arms or with suspicion. So it's that kind of thing. I don't want to say too much just in case you're not watching it, but it's a
good.
really good show.
It's really
I
Well,
watched
what it
one
sounds
episode
like
of
is
that.
Revelations.
Lucifer, Ninja Puppy, Lucifer.
Oh, I didn't watch
No, but that comes
I
on
only
CW.
watched that,
That
like the
is
first season.
the
I couldn't get into
CW
that.
or Fox.
I think
or
it's
It was
something?
CW.
the CW.
The
Was it the CW?
I think it's
Ninja?
CW.
Ninja, is it CW or Fox?
I think the title alone turned me off, and I was just like,
It was good, but it just wasn't my type. It couldn't keep my attention
It didn't.
for longer than a season.
Roll, yeah.
Does anybody watch Dr. Pimple Popper?
Yeah.
Oh
Yes.
my goodness.
Oh
Yeah,
my
everybody
God.
watches that.
That is like
I'm
a
glad you said
This is
that.
obsession.
Everybody because it's so disgusting
Yes.
that you're like,
Yeah, it is.
You can't stop.
You can't turn away from
It
that
is.
show.
Oh my goodness. I
Okay.
follow them on Instagram and everything.
oh, it's on Fox, Lucifer.
Oh,
Okay.
Lucifer's on
And-
Fox. Okay.
TD said, I just finished Power this morning, but no spoilers.
Oh yeah, today is Sunday.
Yeah.
I love her. Now, Angela came in and said, PETA is a whole mess. Mariah is a whole legend and deserves to be carried. My 600-pound life. We agree with you. We were just saying.
Yes.
We were just saying. My 600-pound life is hilarious because most of them just want to eat. 90-Day Fiance is chain migration. Lucifer, my mom loves.
Okay.
TD said it's fascinating. Travis said Lucifer was Fox based on a comic book.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh,
okay.
thank you for that, Travis.
A
Yeah,
lot
I
of
had no
shows,
idea.
a lot of shows now.
Oh yes,
based
the
on
Masked
comic
Singer.
books
I
or
love the
graphic
Masked
novels.
Singer. That's
Do
one
you?
of my favorite.
Do you?
The Masked Singer.
I watched
yes.
it.
I don't understand how sometimes they act like they don't know who it is because you can hear the voice and know.
Sometimes
And
you can
kinda
listen
know, right.
in to the
Yeah, I think
voice.
Lil
like
Wayne
when it
was
was
the-
Lil Wayne,
that was
you
the
should have
big
known who that
yeah,
was.
yeah.
He was on
T-Pain
Yeah,
too.
he
was
you
the
should have known
robot.
who T-Pain was too.
I thought the Fox. I honestly thought it was Jamie Foxx at one point. I thought it was him
That would
because
have been.
the way he sounded and moved. Turns out it was Wayne Brady.
You
Oh.
know who got me? The llama. I thought the llama. I really thought it was Howard Stern.
I did
The-
too
Who
because
was
of the
it?
height.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
yeah.
Drew Carey.
Drew Carey.
Get out.
It was
Drew
Drew Carey.
Carey. Yes. Was
Like
the
I
llama.
just knew it was Howard
Oh,
Stern.
Yeah.
TD said I got most of them right. I knew it was T-Pain.
Oh,
Yeah, I did too.
No, I just started watching. What
No,
what else
Netflix.
caught my attention? America's Got Talent. The Champion
Mhm.
or whatever. That somehow caught my attention these past few weeks and months. You know they do different acts, and Simon
Yes.
is on there. Who else? I don't know.
Simon.
Heidi.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Howie Mandel.
Howard. Who is he?
He is a comedian that was. He had like a couple of shows. He had a little animation called Bobby's World.
Yeah.
Oh, he
Yeah,
was
that's
Bobby's
him.
World.
He
Yeah.
did some
yes,
movies
he
and then
did
he
some
did
movies.
Deal or No Deal.
And did he did deal?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
Oh, he did Bobby's
Happy New Year said loved Power, sad it's over.
Power's over.
Loved
Yeah, it's the
Ray Donovan, sad it's gone.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
that's
heard Ray
been
Donovan
canceled.
was canceled.
Yeah.
Bobby's World. love
Yes.
it.
Mhm.
What's that? I got Victor correct too.
Yeah.
Oh, it was one of the singers. Okay. Okay.
Oh yeah.
See, I'm bored. Like honestly, I'm all about Netflix, and I watch a lot of HBO. I love 90 Day.
Mhm.
We all do, Gail. We
Shout
all
out
do.
to Gail. Hey Gail.
Are there any fans of Ozark out there? Am I the only person waiting for that to come back on Netflix? Just asking.
Does anybody watch on Netflix Dark Tourist? Has anybody
No.
watched it?
I've been intrigued.
So
by
Dark
that.
Tourist is about this guy that goes to all these, I want to say, taboo type of places to visit. So he visits like nuclear sites, places that have been hit by that have nuclear
Really?
radiation.
Wow.
He goes to countries that might be closed off.
Like documentary style kind of?
Yes.
Okay.
So it is really interesting. He went to like countries that practice heavy voodoo or Santeria. It's really interesting, and you get he's very respectful, and you get a lot of input from the locals that you may not get from another show of that type. So I really enjoy, and he's a real. I'm gonna say it. I think he's an idiot. Some of the places he goes,
Oh.
like one of them was like, "Yeah, this is nuclear waste in this lake," and they were like, "Let's go swim in the lake." And then after they got out, they were like, "Yeah, you can have like sterilization." It's a really good show. It's also on Netflix.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
So Ninja Puppy said Howie was on St. Elsewhere. I remember St. Elsewhere. Remember that was
I remember the
that's
show.
like a throwback.
Yeah, that's a yeah.
TD, if you didn't catch Ozark, you should. Kidding. Okay, Maeve, I could only handle one husband at a time. And let me just say my fault. Well, I don't know who wants more than one spouse anyway. Like for me, I don't
get that.
Did y'all used to watch Big Love when it was on TV on
Yes.
HBO
Uh-huh.
about the man with the multiple wives?
Yes.
So it was these Mormons
Yeah.
where they had
Yeah.
multiple lives, and then
They
they
lived
lived
next
door to
next
each
door
other.
to each other, but the backyard connected between all the
Yeah,
houses.
yeah.
It was
Yes.
really good.
I
Yeah,
never
well,
saw about a
I-
woman
they
that
had-
had three. Like what, 2 or 3 men
It
that
was
lived with her.
three.
It was 3?
It was 3.
And I was
yes,
like, girl,
remember
like,
that.
I don't know. I feel like it'd be
all of
easier to
that.
have men than men having multiple women. Like maybe that's just me. I don't know.
Wait a minute. Say that again.
I said I feel like it'd be easier. It's easier for a woman to have multiple men than a man having multiple women. I mean, just because women are more emotional, and it's like
It's already men that have multiple women coexisting. They not all living in the same house.
Jess, this one's for you. Happy New Year did not watch Messiah because it was in subtitles. So I watched a little.
Yes.
Okay.
So I am a big foreign film, foreign TV show fan, and subtitles don't bother me. So
Yeah.
sometimes a lot of the things that I watch have
See,
subtitles.
that takes my attention.
But if
away.
you can get beyond it, get beyond it. It's worth it.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Okay, so Ninja Puppy said Big Love. Yes, like love, Big Love. And then someone said, Gail, there's a show on TLC called Sister Wives. Yes.
Yes.
You know about
Yes.
that show.
I watch
We
that too.
know about Sister
Yes.
Wives.
I don't.
Maeve said, well, the soap sometimes.
Oh,
Okay. Happy New Year. New football game Saturday and Sunday teaches you about football, like Canadian football I watched yesterday.
okay.
Okay. I mean,
That's
that's
cool.
so it's good to expand
Speaking
our
of sister,
horizon.
the first time I heard the term sister wife, I met a guy and he brought me home to meet his mom, and she was like, "Oh, she's a sister wife," because he had another girlfriend.
No.
So, however, it was like pimp culture because his mother was a prostitute. So she used to call the other women in the stable
Oh.
her sister wives.
Okay.
And they had the one pimp.
Okay.
So
Right.
that's the first time that I heard that term.
I wonder how that's decided. I mean, who do you sleep with this night? And who do you sleep with that night? Who do you?
Well, can I ask? I'm sorry. I mean,
No,
how
no.
did that make you feel right at that moment?
Yeah.
We weren't dating, so I didn't.
Oh, so it wasn't all
It
you.
didn't
Okay.
But
matter
I'm
to me.
sorry. I'm
She
sorry.
thought we were, but we were not.
No. But how do you? I wonder about that.
But I feel like if it's a
On the
prostitute pimp
documentary-
sort
oh,
of situation,
and
that's
that way I'm
different
not sure.
than if you're like
The
dating
actual-
someone and they have another
Yeah.
girlfriend or
Like they do
You're right,
documentaries
that's-
on
yeah.
like sister wife, and where they will say like so and so will have a such a day,
Mhm.
or like he just has to split his time between both.
But if it's a religious thing, you may have been raised in that
Oh,
type
right.
of environment
True.
to be accepting of that. But if you are just a person that has a man that has another woman, that may be kind of an adjustment. But I feel like a lot, like the one that's on TV, I feel like
Yeah.
they were raised in that, so it's
Right.
kind of different for them. I think.
Right. But it's also showing now the growing pains and the point that they're at where a lot of them are real happy. You know, here we go down the road 5-6 years and they're like
Yeah.
not real thrilled
Yeah.
with the situation.
I'll pass. I don't need a
Melissa.
sister, wife, brother.
Hi, Pete. I'm gonna see.
Hi, girl. Hello. Welcome.
Thank you.
Melissa.
TD's gonna tap into the subtitles now, by the way. Messiah. Now this is T. That's what TD said. TD. Hey, Melissa.
Oh, he's
To her. Okay, Happy New Year.
They having their own conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Richard Hammond has a new show. He's a car guy with the Grand Tour for cheeky Brit guys. Okay. Angela said Sister Wives was interesting, but I guess if they're cool with it, I'm cool with it. Well, truth.
Exactly.
I mean,
Like it, I love
going-
it.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a fan. Whatever floats your boat without hurting other people.
Right. No
Is-
judgment.
Right.
Yeah, it's just
If you're happy, that's great. But like I said, I feel like now we're starting to see the cracks. If you watch it now, have you seen it recently?
No.
Because it's the house situation, and this one wants to do this, and this one wants to go do that.
But also, you have to add like the celebrity piece into that. If before it was secret and it was just kind of your own insular
right.
family unit,
a lot of people may not
that's
have known.
one thing. But once other people can look into your home and start commenting, it
Mhm.
makes you think,
Right.
what kind of situation
you're
am
right.
I in?
Yeah.
What am I allowing? What am I going to accept? Am I happy? You know what I
Right,
mean? Whereas
right.
before, without someone from the outside looking in to tell it to you, you
never
might
saw it
not
that
look.
way.
It's true.
Or even a lot of celebrities. Not that I'm not behind this, but once they get on TV or whatever and they see themselves, they're like, oh, my nose looks like that, my chin
Go
looks
fix
like that.
it.
So it's kind of like that.
Right.
You
I always
see
say that
things-
too. I always say, I call the second season the glam season because the first season is always like, I'm fine.
Right,
And then
right.
you look at yourself, you're like,
Right.
I'm not that fine.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
come back
And then the
yeah.
next season, they're like,
They come on the
Yeah.
glow up.
They
Yeah.
their hair looks better. They got a little nip and tuck.
Right. Corrections.
Okay, guys, here's one. TD says any sorry, I'm gonna sneeze again. Can you read that one?
Oh, TD says any Ayana
Watchers.
I
Come
know.
with the read.
I do not care for her.
No.
at all.
I don't either.
Ayana
I saw her
Van
live,
Zandt.
and
I think she forces it. I think
Yes.
that she's disrespectful. I think that she plays into people's
Sometimes. Yeah.
Hey,
Sometimes.
sugar.
mental
Yeah.
problems more than she helps.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I don't care for her.
I don't
watch her.
either. I
Yeah.
saw her live.
I think
I
Yeah.
really
think I
like
do.
one of her books that she wrote. It was
She wrote
years
a lot
ago.
of good books.
Yeah.
She did, but
As
then
a person, I find her offensive.
you know who came out with it was Tamar, and she was spilling the
Oh,
tea
Tamar
about what
is
I
also
remember
happened.
that. I remember
Right,
that.
but she did spill the tea on what happened with, you know, when she came into their kind of dynamic.
Right.
And Tamar walked out because she was like, yeah, I'm not doing this. Like, she felt like she was trying to push them into
Yes.
stuff that wasn't
Right.
Or
where they were
even,
trying
or
to go.
even the one time where she was asking the girl about her dad, and the girl was like, "I don't have problems with my dad," and she like pushed and pushed and pushed until the girl like broke down in tears. Like, I don't think that
I don't.
is
That's
real.
not
That's not
productive.
real
Well,
to me.
I feel, well, okay, maybe with me, like, even on this print, I feel like a lot of things that we experience or do in our adulthood, it stems from your childhood. And I feel like she brings that part out that maybe that you don't think about, or
Right.
that you, okay, and maybe this is just my example. I had a big phobia of feet. Like, do not put your feet on me, around me, touch. I will cry. But I never knew where it came from until one day, not that long ago, I remember my stepmother, she was a real heavy set lady. When she got out the shower, she used to make me put lotion on her feet. And then it was like, oh, that one little incident
Just
that, you know, it caused for this
trigger,
phobia.
yes.
And I feel like with Ayan, you know what I'm saying?
Like
Like,
her.
she makes you go back to something
Which some
that you
people
don't
aren't ready for.
right,
Right.
either or that you don't know exists. Because I feel as though, I mean, now in hindsight, when I look at this situation, that was small. Like, why is rubbing somebody's feet making? But clearly, it made a big
It made
impact
a
on
big
me.
impact
You
on
know what I
you.
mean? So I
Yeah,
mean, I
yeah.
get it. Whereas though some people may feel like she pushing,
Mhm.
but I feel like sometimes you have to, once you put yourself in that situation, you are allowing her or giving her the okay to push you
Mhm.
somewhere where
Right.
you're
I
uncomfortable.
agree with that, but I think that her manner in which she pushes a person, I think there's a way to respectfully push a
It's the
person.
technique she
With,
uses.
right. I
Yeah.
don't like her
Works.
Yeah.
technique.
Yes.
It
But I don't
works.
think it always works because
Mhm.
a lot of those people, they revert back to the same behaviors after
Mhm.
they are on the show. They don't, you don't see any improvement, which makes me feel like she's doing it for ratings to have that big blow up moment. But I've never been to therapy, so I don't know.
I heard Shauna come out. Maeve said, could you imagine coming home from work to 6 husbands wanting to know when's supper?
Oh no, I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Could you
That's
imagine?
Let's
like
just
having
say,
6
who is
kids.
that? What's it? Who is
Maeve.
that?
Maeve.
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 Mhm.
I don't date
I
men
can't
that don't
imagine.
cook.
Yes.
That's a good answer.
TD talked about Ayala that had a boy screaming in the dirt.
Yeah.
I had a boy screaming. I didn't see that.
Happy New Year just said, Arabs have more than one wife. My college
True.
roommate
Mhm.
was Nigerian, is that what that
Yeah.
means?
Yeah.
And had another family from her father and they all got along.
Yeah,
Happy
well, that's
New
what I was
Year, it
saying.
works.
I think
Yeah.
that if
When
you're
it's
raised in
religious.
it
Mm.
for a religious or cultural purpose, I think that you're more able to manage that. But as, let's say, an American where it's not allowed and is frowned upon, I think you would react differently. That's why those shows are so big here because it feels
It's
so
not.
foreign
Right.
to
Yeah.
us.
Yes.
But I wouldn't see that those shows would be as big overseas somewhere
Where it's
where that's allowed and
Right.
it's normal.
Mhm. Yeah.
Or it's
So-
I
like
can't
that.
imagine coming home to 6 husbands having sex with them.
Maeve said to you, good girl, LOL, smart. Angela said, but they know it's not allowed by law. That's why they're not forthcoming with it. And Ayana is a gaslighter
Yes.
more than anything.
Yes.
True. I agree.
Ninja Puppy said the only thing I make for dinner is reservations.
That's funny. I like that.
That's good.
Mhm.
Off topic. Have either of you experienced passive aggression at work between you and a coworker?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
In
I'm not gonna
particular,
go into it.
yeah. Almost all of my experiences with passive aggressive behavior have been with Caucasian women in the workplace. There's a lot of, I don't even know what to call it, microaggressions or what, a lot of kind of catty, kind of slick things said that they don't expect you to respond to as a normal human being would respond, and then you have to kind of navigate how to respond to that without becoming the angry black woman
Yes.
in the
Right.
Which is
office.
a very
Oh my goodness. That is
I was
very
fortunate enough to be raised by my grandparents who, marched with Martin Luther King and who very clearly told me, do not kowtow to white folks in the workplace. And I also got that from my mom, who is British, and the way that they interact racially is different than how we interact in America. So the way that I interact in the workplace may be different than some of my coworkers. So what I allow, how people talk to me, how people treat me, I can visibly see the difference where sometimes I'll say something and the people of color in the room will kind of like,
Well,
Yeah.
so on that topic though, TD wants to know, how did you handle that? Like, what did you do after that?
don't talk to me like that, I'm not your child.
Amen.
That's how I respond. I don't think that will work for everyone, but it has worked for me. And I'm also a person that will leave a job quickly and doesn't care about a job because I can always get another job. So I always react the way that I want to react without worry for the job.
Right.
But I know that someone who is really dependent on that job cannot react that way. So I would say try to keep a paper trail. If something really bugs you, try to say something through email where you have it on paper, say it respectfully. If you can get their response on paper back to you, and then just escalate it if you have to your supervisor, to management, or whoever, and just hope that the proper channels don't spin things to make you look crazy.
Jasmine,
Yes.
Ninja Puppy said passive aggressive behavior is a superpower for some.
It is.
It is.
It is.
My mom friend had 2 boyfriends. Well, I mean, girl, that works.
Hey.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a question coming in that
Yes.
we're actually going to be talking about on our next segment,
On our
correct?
next segment,
Which
yes.
is, what is our opinion of the Gail King, Lisa Leslie interview?
Yes.
Yes, it was craziness, but that is the next segment.
Yes.
Tune in
Yes.
to hear what we have to say.
And thank you for watching Phoenix Tremaine's Forbidden Conversations, where no conversation is too forbidden. We was live, but we're ending our live segment. So tune in again and watch us. Bye. Ciao.
All right.
UnitedCreatorsNetwork.com for our other segment.
Tune in,
Tune in.
subscribe.
Yes.
It's free to watch.
And
but
join our
subscribe.
Facebook group.
Ninja Puppy said, fantastic show, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Sinbad had a baby.
Sinbad had a baby.
Oh, it's Sinbad's grandchild.
Oh.
It just popped up on me.